Caught off guard, Luke Lehman said he never registered to vote, but then he got this voter education guide in the mail. And then he got this voter identification card, labeling him as a registered voter with no political party affiliation. The catch is that Lehman's is not a United States citizen.
That's not right. I want to know what's going on, and I want to basically cancel my registration.
He's been living in Arizona since the 1980s on a green card sponsored by his employer based in Belgium. Lehman's doesn't recall ever willingly registering to vote, and he didn't vote in either the 2022 or 2024 elections.
I wasn't worried about it from my personal perspective. Okay, I didn't vote, and I did my best to get me off the registration.
Connecting the dots, he thinks this must have all happened after he renewed his driver's license when he turned 65. That was back in 2021.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to it. Conservative Confucius back at it. Alrighty, so let's get into breaking news for you guys. We got a couple things breaking. Like I said, I was going to do the Trump third assassination attempt. I looked into it. There really wasn't much to look into. It was, more about the Iranian plot to do this. There was no attempt. There was an attempt of an attempt. So it's not even really a third attempt. It's a third attempt of an attempt. That's actually prior to all the other attempts. It's happened back in early July, like July 12th, which I think is before the other one. So we're looking at an attempt of an attempt before the original attempt and the second attempt. So yeah, it's crazy. Definitely not really too much going on there. I looked as much as possible. I tried to find some, information that you're not just going to receive from other YouTubers and stuff. So I looked, I didn't find much. If there's more in the coming days, I will do a video on it. But this is breaking news in Arizona, Maricopa County, where I live. Not joking. Legal foreign citizens who live here and illegal aliens are now voting in elections, registering to vote and getting registered through simply applying for a driver's license. That registers them. Then they use that register for the illegals, at least. This opening story we covered, that one is just a legal citizen who said, I'm not going to vote because I don't think it's just or okay for me to do so because it's not supposed to be happening. The other ones, though, we'll get into, illegal aliens admitting on camera that they are voting and they're going to vote for Kamala. This is insane, and it's already going to the Congress, and hopefully it can work out, but let's get down to it and do it, guys. Hit the like button. Make sure you go do that. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell for all notifications, and do not forget to share this video if you guys like it. We're almost at 5,500, literally just a few more, and we'll get there, and make sure we do it. Alrighty, guys, let's get into it and do it. So this is from End Wokeness. Yep, breaking non-citizen discovers he's a registered voter in Maricopa County. The county is refusing to explain how. Are there more? And yes, there is. We'll get into that. But are there more legal non-citizens, people who are here for work on visas? Is there more of them? They won't say. Well, if they won't say, that means there probably is. But illegal citizens, they're definitely not going to say that. And we have video evidence of that. We'll get into it.
That was back in 2021. His date of registration on his voter ID card is the exact same as the date he was issued a new driver's license. Lehman's provided copies of an email he sent to the Maricopa County Recorder's Office back in August. He asked, why did this happen? Adding that he's concerned he's not the only one.
Nope.
Then he filled out this form last month to cancel his voter registration, again asking, why did I get registered to vote in the first place?
When you would pull up the...
They won't cancel it either because they need him as a voter so they can use him. And I bet if he even looked into his election history, which they may not have done, but if they did, I'm pretty sure they would either find he did vote in the previous elections or there was an attempt to have him vote. And that's just, it's crazy. The last year in 2022 and in 2020, and this is proven in court in Arizona, not only did Katie Hobbs lose the election, but there were over 10,000 dead people that voted, over 10,000 people that voted twice, and a total in just of 2020, over 264,000 votes that weren't checked. The signatures on the mail-in ballots were not checked properly. You're supposed to do 16-point ballot or 16-point signature check verification. By the end of the night, they were down to 0. They started at 16 where they're supposed to, then they went to 12, then they went to 10, then 6, then 4, then 2, then 0. This is admitted by people who were doing this because they were told by their bosses there that they needed to get done faster, and so just to scan them through without verifying the signatures, which is insane. Not only that, Dominion Voting said there was no issues, but then admitted openly later that they were vulnerable to attack because they were accidentally connected to the Wi-Fi in Arizona and in multiple other states, which shows, yes, there could have been fraud. Also, during this short time where they said they were shutting down voting for the night in multiple states, somehow during that time, 98% of all the votes that came in were for Biden. In some states, 100%. For Michigan and Pennsylvania, it was 100%. In Arizona, 98%. This is in water spilling in one state, boarding up windows in another state, all kinds of crap going on that's so illegal and wrong and suspicious. And yet somehow we're still sitting here like Trump or Biden is the president. Honestly, what should be happening in this election is there should be no election. It should be Biden handing off the presidency to Trump and saying, I'm sorry, we screwed you guys. There's more than enough evidence to prove that we did not win the election. Here's the presidency, and now you can have your 4 years that we stole from you. Just like Katie Hobbs should do with Carrie Lake. And it's insane. I mean, Katie Hobbs had her own people in Maricopa working, counting the votes. Her own administration was the vote counting people, because she was the attorney general, which is they set up the ballot counting in Arizona. So she was counting her own votes. Like that's so illegal. It's wrong. In whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower came out from her own administration, from her own team, bringing forth documents, evidence, all kinds of stuff, video evidence, were like recorded evidence, all kinds of stuff, like voice recordings of her admitting that there were problems, that they did this, they did that wrong, that they illegally did this. And over again, we keep hearing it in court. And yet at every single time the court says, yes, this evidence is true, and it is verified as accurate, but we're not going to overturn the election. And it's like, what? Like, so you just admit that everything that we've gotten through all this election, interference, election fraud, it's all true, but we're still not going to overturn the fraudulent election. It makes no sense. All right, let's get into this a little bit more.
Signed form in their own handwriting. Oftentimes people forget.
Tammy Patrick is the former federal compliance officer for the Maricopa County Elections Department. She says it's entirely possible with the online system he could have erroneously checked yes to being a United States citizen 3 years ago, allowing him to appear on the voter rolls.
So we need to make sure that the system is set up in such a...
It's the first thing you check on our papers in Arizona. It's in huge bold lettering, like bigger than the rest on the paper. Not huge, but like it's big. So like if the regular, say you have like a size 12 font for everything on the paper and regular and not bold, it'll be in like a size 20 or a size 16 in double bold, and you'll be able to see it. And it makes sure that like, and then it also, it even, so it's in regular bold, like maybe 16 or 18 and the sentence. But then it says, not a U.S. citizen or U.S. citizen, check yes or yes for this, no for this. And it makes sure it highlights like extra bold on those sections where it says not a U.S. citizen and are a U.S. citizen, to make sure you know where to go. And it's clear with that because it puts a check and a check for no, or it puts a little parentheses no, parentheses yes. So make sure that you're getting it right. So it's like someone getting that wrong means they're just not looking and they're just checking boxes. And that guy in the beginning didn't seem really like a person who would just check boxes. He's here a foreign country on work. When you're a foreigner in another country working, you make sure you check everything perfectly, because it can lead to you getting kicked out of the country if not.
A way that it makes sure that the voters are really aware of what the transaction is that they're taking place with.
12 News began asking the Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richards' office a series of questions on September 19th. Those included how Luke Leemans became registered to vote after he renewed his driver's license, and how many other non-citizens may be erroneously registered because of this same issue. A spokesperson declined to answer until the investigation into the coding error is completed.
That is something that is worth investigating, how that happened.
I think that it really makes sense to double check, not knowing exactly how it was set up, if it was just carrying forward all the old information, or if it was somehow set up to automatically populate information. Those are the sorts of things that you would want to understand.
Some answers to our questions lie in Luke Lehman's voter records. We've requested those records, but have not received them.
Told you.
Luke also asked for his own records.
I am frustrated to the fact that even if I give permission for somebody to get the records, that permission is basically ignored.
I told you.
And that I had to come here in person to actually receive another form that maybe will be handled the same way.
Patrick.
In most states, you can look online for a person's local voting record and even federal if you know the right websites. And yet here in Arizona, this guy is trying to get his own voting record and he can't. Like, does that tell you something? Like, you don't think this is fraudulent or anything like that? Are you kidding me? I'm sure that it has all of everything in a, like, if you're a regular citizen of America, of the US and you live in Maricopa, you could probably just get yours immediately. But I'm guessing people who are they're in the system illegally and they're not supposed to be there, and the state knows it, and the state's taking part in these actions, I'm guessing they're flagged. So it says when they try to ask for their information, it says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to fill out this paper, and to get that, you have to wait for a few days or a few weeks, and then we'll send them to you or not, in case you get approved." And that the reason why they're doing that is so they can't just hand them out. They have an excuse for not giving them to them, and then either the person will forget, or when they get the refusal, they're just like, whatever. Who cares? And that's the point. It's supposed to like push the date later on so they no longer care as much as they did when they came in the first day, because by then it's not on their mind. There's other things going on in the world. They hope they'll forget about it. And the thing is that's what they want. They're purposely trying to do this crap. I guarantee his name, along with all the other illegal immigrants and non-citizens who are in this country with visas or illegally, and they're in the system as voters, I'm guaranteeing you there's a flag on their name that says don't print or cannot give voter information to voter or whatever, so to make sure that they never see what their voting record is, so they know that they don't vote, so they don't know that they voted illegally, unless they're maybe the ones who vote personally, like the illegal immigrants who say they're voting for Kamala, maybe they can, but who knows? I doubt it.
Says a record does exist showing whether Lehman said if he was a citizen or not.
If that PDF is checked off, no, I'm not a citizen, then it should have stopped.
And without that confirmation, concerns over how many non-citizens are getting registered to vote will stay unaddressed.
That's insane. Unaddressed. Wow. So more of this breaking news. Arizona End Wokeness again admit that they are registered to vote and that they support Kamala.
Just out of curiosity, are you registered to vote?
I'm wondering why. It's because most of these people speak Spanish and they don't like any English, or at least it's really common in Arizona. So, but yeah, we have so many illegals here. It's crazy.
Yes, we've already registered.
Are you a citizen?
No.
Are you a citizen? No, I'm waiting for my residency right now. And do you plan to vote this year? Yes. Who do you prefer right now? Kamala or Trump?
Residency, that's the temporary residency, TRP, temporary residency placement, or whatever it's called, or TPR, temporary placement residency, whatever. It's the same thing the Haitians are getting. So that if you claim asylum, then that means you get temporary residency. So they're not illegal, they're TPR status or TRP status or whatever. It's insane. It's illegal, just not illegal. It's crazy. Like, that's what the Biden administration is, how they're lowering numbers of illegal immigration. They're just flooding them into our country and telling everyone who comes in, just say that you're running from something. Say your life's in danger and we have to let you in.
Or Trump? No, Kamala. Have you been registered? Yes. Are you a citizen or not? And would you vote for Kamala? Well, yeah.
Arizona has recently become the center of election integrity concerns in the state. The primary concern is that non-citizens could be registering to vote and participating in American elections. However, the mainstream media continues to minimize the issue. The Washington Post said that the issue of non-citizens voting was dishonest. Rolling Stone claimed that the issue was non-existent, and NPR assured its audience that the issue is a myth.
Really?
The stakes in the 2024 presidential election could not be higher. So, we went to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. We asked residents if they were registered to vote and if they were citizens. The responses we obtained destroy the narrative. that non-citizens participating in United States elections is a conspiracy theory.
Hola, señora, ¿cómo está? Somos una organización, ahorita estamos ayudando a la comunidad hispana aquí del área de Phoenix, dándoles información para la gente que igual quieren registrarse para votar aquí en las elecciones en noviembre. Nomás de pura curiosidad, ¿está usted registrada para votar?
Ya nos registramos.
Ok. Sí. ¿La registraron aquí o en el trabajo?
En el
trabajo. En el trabajo. Okay. ¿Usted es ciudadana?
No.
¿Usted ya lo registraron? Que había una aplicación que me dijo que, bueno, fue en la ayuda en la ayuda que nos dan a nosotros los hispanos cuando venimos aquí. Oh. Yo puse que sí.
Did you see that? Read that. Go back. Look. It's at a place where they help us Hispanics when we come in here. So they filled it out an application where they help us Hispanics when we come here. That's insane. So they're literally registering to vote either before they get to this country with Catholic NGOs, which we'll get into a little bit. It's crazy, guys. Like I told you guys, this isn't, for the idiots out there who still want to claim it's the Jews doing this. It's the Jews doing this. Yes, there are a few Jews in power who don't represent Judaism. We don't even practice Judaism. We don't care about their Jewish heritage, who don't do anything for Israel. And yes, they may be pushing this crap. They're also the ones criticizing Israel all the time. So don't sit here and say, oh, they're on your side. No, they're on your side if you're going to say that crap. Anyways, the Catholic NGOs, they are responsible for this, whether it's over in Mexico or here or just everywhere, not just like on the edge of the border, but like all the way up here. And it is crazy, guys. I marked yes so I could vote. If you wish, you can register me.
So usted puso que sí. Sí, yo puse que sí. Ahí me sale una obligación.
A question came up asking if I wanted to vote, and I marked yes. So this is on a digital device. They're registering online, whether it's on like a tablet or a computer, wherever they were prior to the U.S.
Que si quería votar y yo puse que sí.
¿Y usted es ciudadano?
No, estoy esperando la residencia todavía.
¿Está esperando la residencia? Ok. ¿Y usted planea votar este año?
Sí.
Y usted, la última pregunta es, ¿a quién le gusta a usted ahorita? La Kamala y el Trump.
¿Y el Trump? No, la Kamala.
¿La Kamala? ¿Usted dónde nació?
En Cuba.
¿En Cuba?
Sí.
Ok.
¿Está usted registrado para votar?
Creo que ya me registré la semana pasada.
This guy just registered last week.
¿Ya se registró?
Oh, we already did this.
I kind of want to tell people where this apartment is, but I'm not going to do that.
En el súper que está aquí.
En el súper, lo registraron.
Personas así como ustedes que estaban buscando.
¿Usted es ciudadano?
No, residente.
¿Residente?
Sí.
Ok. De pura curiosidad, ¿usted está registrado para votar?
Sí.
¿Sí? Ok. ¿Lo registraron aquí o en su trabajo?
So most of these people are getting registered at work, which is crazy. Like, where do they work?
¿Usted es ciudadano?
No.
¿No es ciudadano? Ok. Nomás de pura curiosidad, ¿usted está registrada para votar?
Sí, ya llenaron eso.
¿Ya?
Sí.
Ok. ¿Vinieron aquí alguien para registrarla?
Ajá.
Someone came to register her here.
Pero sí.
Are you American?
De curiosidad, ¿usted es ciudadana americana?
No.
¿No?
Todavía no.
Venimos con una organización que ayuda a la gente a registrar para poder votar en las elecciones.
¡Oh, ya pasaron!
Ya.
They already passed. I already did it.
¿Usted ya está registrado?
Ya.
Oiga, ¿usted es ciudadano o no es?
No. No hay ningún ciudadano.
There's not a single citizen here.
Ok. Oiga, pero este año la Kamala y el trompudo, ¿usted quién le gusta?
Trump says he'll start deporting people on the first day.
El Trompas dice que el primer día va a empezar a sacar gente.
Usted tuviera que votar por algo.
Kamala. He's going to say, Kamala.
Comunidad.
But I think Kamala is with the community. No, I think Kamala is for communism. And that's what you ran away from. But, whatever. Let's get into this a little bit more. So, human trafficking is going crazy. This is from Ryan Matta Media and the Real Muckraker.
They have them keeping their head down. They're telling them to hide their face. Many of these kids go missing.
I've even had a little friend. I can't remember her name, but she said she didn't know where she would go.
And MVM is an organization that has moved thousands.
I don't work for you.
You do not work for MVM?
I'm on medication.
You said that you were on vacation and now you're moving this small child to the airport. I thought you were on vacation. Do you have any comment about the children that have gone missing that you've helped to escort across the country? 2 children were delivered to a sponsor that lives at this address. But as you can see, nobody lives here, and honestly, it doesn't look like anybody's lived here in quite a long time. There's kids in the car here. They're moving these kids. They just turned the lights off.
We owe a debt of $10,000 for me, and another $10,000 for my brother.
That van that we just confronted, they are now taking off. We are following them. This van is now trying to lose us. They're driving through this neighborhood that's headed absolutely nowhere.
Are a lot of the kids coming over here, are they trafficked, or like what's the... Some are. I'm not gonna lie. Some are.
She cried because she didn't know what they would do with her. We went to sleep, and in the morning, when I got up, she was gone.
Since 2021, an average of 400 unaccompanied children are smuggled into the United States every day. These children who...
You're not going to watch this whole thing. If you want to, you can go to muckraker.com.
A list detailing the names of over 8,000 alien children, along with their last known addresses. So, we began an operation to find the missing children ourselves. Over the course of our investigation, we discovered the dangerous places where children had been delivered, confronted a CIA contractor who moves these children, heard shocking stories from children who the federal government has lost track of, and exposed a child trafficking network in Florida. This report brings to light the fate of the forgotten children who have fallen victim to the criminal negligence of the United States federal government.
Yeah, we'll get in. If you guys want to get into that, you can get into it more, but we don't. I'm trying to make this a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna have to go through all that. Here's some of the NGO stuff I was talking about, guys.
Fernando Arce here, LFA TV, Springfield, Ohio. We're at the brand new Catholic Charities of Springfield location. The building has been recently constructed. As you can see, Catholic Charities, Southwestern Ohio.
What did I say?
Empowerment Center. I came here to ask hard questions that the American people demand answers to. This here building was funded by your tax dollars, and has a brand new corner property, blacktopped and everything, beautiful space here. And
I promise you, half the people that work there are not Catholic. They look like gendered nonsense beings and crap. So, but they use that name, and they use the church itself as a way to maneuver through this, and put themselves everywhere and make themselves seem like, oh, it's just another church group. It's just another, charity,
We want to know how
they have very, very, very dark, goals. Very, I don't want to say, just precarious. I don't want to get, malevolent. I don't want to say malevolent, but, kind of.
How is Catholic Charities helping with the invasion of the Haitian invasion? Hashtag.
It's not Haitian invasion, not Haitian. Why do people say Haitian? Like they can't even get the word Haitian right. So many people do this too. They say hate. They sound like they're saying Asian half the time. Yeah. So the Catholic Charities aren't just doing Haitian, immigrant. It's all over. It's the immigration stuff in Texas and Arizona. It's for the drugs and where all the drugs and human trafficking comes through. They're the ones helping with that. They're also the ones helping with the regular stuff down in Texas. They're in California too, and they're the ones helping with Venezuelan migrants and Haitian immigrants too. It's crazy that this is going on, and no one wants to talk about it. No, not even a conservative content creator is talking about the Catholic Charities. And it's like, oh, half of them, or not half, a small portion of them are willing to say everything is the Jews' fault, but they won't even say it when it's the Catholic Church that's taking part in one of the the biggest hoodwink, the biggest scam on American people that's ever been perpetrated when it comes to the levels of mass immigration and the fact in the level that they're helping at.
Haitian invasion of here, Ohio. Nobody's home. I rang the doorbell. I called their phone. Nobody's picking up their phone. But I guarantee you, they received millions and millions of dollars through FEMA, through the Shelter and Services Program, or through Health and Human Services, Department of Homeland Security. And it's all a grift. And the grift doesn't stop just in the border. The grift continues into the interior of our country, including small towns like Springfield, Ohio. And our next stop is I'm going to be going after the next dirty NGO that has facilitated in the Haitian invasion of America. Catholic Charities, where are the missing children? Catholic Charities, we demand answers. Catholic Charities of USA has received close to $4 billion in the last 10 years, 10 to 15 years. Catholic.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. So here
Gerber
we got
Louise.
Salvadorian man. This is from Libs at TikTok. By the way, that was from Hernando Arce. It's either Arce or Arca. Probably Arsa. Yeah, Salvadorian man who entered our country illegally 3 months ago, murdered a woman in Maryland. Criminals from El Salvador are flocking to the U.S. because President Bukele cracked down on crime, and now they're fleeing here. Yeah, El Salvador, the reason that it's happening for two reasons. One is they've locked up almost every single criminal there, especially gang members, and they know the prison is rough, so they're fleeing for basically easy pickings. And America is the prime choice of easy pickings near them. It's not like they can make it to Australia, Canada, or the UK easily. So where do they go? They go here because it's the closest easy pickings they have.
Sanchez Centino was wearing an ankle monitor issued by Immigration and Customs Enforcement when he came to Maryland from Texas just about 3 weeks ago. Now, Centino, who is a native of El Salvador, is facing a first-degree murder charge for allegedly killing his girlfriend. And today, in court, a Montgomery County judge said he has to remain behind bars. The lifeless body of 18-year-old.
You commit 2 misdemeanors as an illegal immigrant or on temporary status, you automatically get deported. But yet this guy can commit a felony and he just goes to prison. He doesn't get immediately extradited to his home country and sent to prison in El Salvador, where I know President Bukele will love having him there as a guest in the prison system.
Dania Carolina Cruz Mejia was discovered last Wednesday after a 911 call.
Honestly, what El Salvador has done to their country, we needed to do here. They locked up every known gang member that was still active, that hadn't reformed. They locked up every known thief that had committed anything over a certain level of crime or had committed crimes over and over and over and over again and was showing no sign of stopping. They arrested every single known person who had been connected to murder but had not gone to prison due to the court case of them scaring or killing witnesses or judges. So all of those people went to prison. And yes, it was like, oh, he took away their rights. No, he ensured the safety of his citizens by locking up the most dangerous people in society. And I may not agree with the way it went down, but we have to acknowledge that it worked on some level, and we need to figure out how to do that while still acknowledging people's rights. That's what we need to do. And if you break the laws of our country, you no longer have rights, in my opinion. If you break the laws to a certain level, if you take a human life, you no longer have rights. If you grape someone, you no longer have human rights. These are things at some point you have to lose your ability to have human rights. And after that, you only have a minute amount of human rights left, which is literally, for a grapist, I don't think it's any really. For murderers, maybe you could say dignity. You have a right to some level of dignity in the proceedings that go on after that. That's about it.
Caller reported a fight between a female tenant and her boyfriend off Calypso Place in Gaithersburg. Cruz Mejia's brother found her body and exchanged text messages with Centino. According to the police report, Centino said he was sorry, that he didn't mean to kill her, and that he would turn himself into authorities. Today, in court, Centino's lawyer with the public defender's office tried to waive the bond hearing. Essentially, Centino didn't plan to challenge his detention for now. Montgomery County Judge Eileen Oliver held a hearing anyway, ultimately ruling that it would not be safe to release Centino.
No, duh. Democrats have imported over 50,000 illegal Haitians. 2 senior citizens who are out. This is Wall Street Apes, by the way. 2 senior citizens who are out for a stroll on their bikes in Daytona, Florida. Random act of violence. He slit their, I don't want to say, I don't know if I can actually say that sentence, but he cut from here to here on their neck, from ear to ear. They died right there on the spot. their murderer was an illegal Haitian immigrant. This guy in the cowboy hat.
This illegal Haitian you see here who came...
Haitian. Hey-shin. Like hey, and then shin, like part of your leg. Hey-shin, not Haitian.
Into the country not long ago, approached two senior citizens who were out for a stroll on their bikes in Daytona, Florida. And in a random act of violence, he slit their throats from ear to ear. They were elderly people, they had no way of defending themselves, and they died right there on the spot. And this is the price Americans are having to pay for day in and day out, week in and week out, for these illegal crossings. Over 50 million of these people have come into the country in the last 4 years, and we have absolutely no idea who they are. In the meantime, Democrats and liberals are saying, well, they're not all bad people. Do you know who they are? They could be rapists, terrorists, murderers, and we have no clue. Why? Because no background checks are being conducted at the border for any of these 50 million people.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I've always said is people say, oh, what you or why do you think it's okay to have to do a vetting process and a background check on every single person when they come here? Like, do you really think that many people are bad? And it's like, what? What did you just say? And it's ridiculous. It's like, would you make sure that your babysitter has a clear background, that they're not a sexual offender, or if they're a felon, or dangerous in any way, or violent, or, you know, just hates kids, has crimes against kids in some way? I mean, none of those things. And they're like, oh yeah, I would do that. But it's like, so you don't think that's related? Like, you don't think letting people into our country, around our children, into our school systems, you know, working at our hospitals and wherever, and yet you don't think that those people should be background checked to the same level that you do a babysitter? Like, no. Progressives drive me freaking wild.
And what's the end goal for Democrats? Illegal votes once these people become citizens.
We've already proven that.
And say, well, you let me in the country and you gave me free hotels and free debit cards, I'm going to vote for you. Yep. And this is their plan, their strategy to stay in power at the price of American lives. It's corruption 100% like we've never seen before. Let me know what you guys think. Like and follow for more.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's just going to continue to get worse until, if she gets, or it's going to continue to get worse if she stays in office. If she gets the presidency, we will see this country go downhill faster and harder than we've ever seen in human history. Like, it'll be time for Americans to say, okay, we've had enough and do something, or flee. That'll be it, because we won't have a country left that we recognize unless there's something done. And I'd say if she does manage to rig this next election, or somehow become president, whatever you want to call it, like the politicians said, like all of the politicians and news anchors said for months in 2020, as long as there's unrest in people's hearts, there should be unrest in these streets. Let's just take their words and act upon them. If they say, if we feel unrest, if we feel like we've been screwed over and trampled upon, and our rights are no longer mattering, and they're silencing us, maybe it's time for us to stand up, because that's what they told us to do. Or does it only work when it's their side that's mad and angry? We'll finally find out, in case something bad happens in this next election. So let's see. Migrant families versus taxpayers, the cost of family benefits, across the benefits. Possible migrant welfare for a family of 4, hotel, $15,000 a month, food, $3,900 a month, school, $5,209.
If 4 in New York could get over 20 grand a month in freebies, $500 a night at a hotel.
And we already showed you that people can get more than that in food stamps and in cash benefits. They can get, there was one person that had $26,000 saved up on their EBT cash and over $13,000 on their EBT food. There was another one where a guy had $14,000 in EBT food, $5,560 in EBT cash. Another person had just under 15 grand, just under 14 grand in EBT food, and just over $6,500 in EBT cash. So this is what they're doing to us. While we can't get $200 worth of food stamps a month, while American citizens are struggling to get the benefits that are made for us, they're getting it free of charge immediately the moment they get here, with no wait period.
$130 a day for food, and having 2 kids in public school costs us $5 grand a month. We didn't even tack on Mayor Adams' $1,000 cash gift cards, the free health care at the ER, or the free phones and free lawyers. Or the
or when they go to the ER and they don't get their information and they leave and they just get free treatment. Yep, let's not forget that too.
$400,000 in free college tuition per dreamer.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that. Free college. Oh, let's not forget in California, $200,000 loan for a house for first-time illegal immigrant buyers. Let's not forget that they also get free rent if they rent a house, which most people are doing. And let's not forget they get all of that plus whatever else the state itself adds on, like the California homeowner stuff. So every state, this progressive state is giving these people thousands and thousands of dollars more on top of what we already are, which is over $25,000 per person half the time.
Meanwhile, taxpayers with jobs in New York pay thousands to live in a closet.
Yep. Welcome to my 80 square foot apartment that I pay $17.50 for.
This apartment's 1, 2,
illegals are getting
3,
5-star
4,
hotels,
5 steps long.
That size,
a migrant family of 4
for free. They get something 10 times that size for free. And it's not even for free. It's at our cost. We're the ones paying for it. So they're not just getting free stuff. They're getting stuff that we're paying for. We need to stop saying free stuff and say, technically, all of their money is our money. Every time you see one of these pricks in a progressive state with their credit cards, their little gift cards, you should be like, hey, oh my God, thanks. I've been looking for my money. I lost a whole bunch and taxes screwed me over. That's mine. It is. And I know that's stealing, but they stole first. They stole first, and the government helped them steal. And I guess we shouldn't blame them. But at the same time, 90% of these people know what they're doing. They know they weren't supposed to come. They knew that they would get these benefits, and they knew how the American people felt about all of this. They are purposefully coming here to take advantage of our system and take advantage of us. And they don't give a shit how we feel. Why should we help people who don't care about disadvantaging us? It's time to wake up, people. It's time to be done with this crap. No more of this. Stand up, fight back. In England, even where they're tearing apart people's rights, they are still out in the streets protesting as much as possible. In Canada, they had the frickin' trucker thing just for lockdowns. Why is it that it takes so much for American citizens to get out in their streets and start talking up and start saying the things they need to? I get the right doesn't really like to protest, but sometimes it's needed, man. Get out there. Let your voices be heard. Time to do something, guys. Alrighty. I will catch you in the next one. Do not forget to come back. Oh, almost forgot. Let's show you guys some of the new stuff on my store. Here we go. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So I got a whole bunch of new stuff for you. We're not going to go to the website just so I don't have to, wait for anything to load. And we're going to go through them real quick. Here we go. There we go. All right. Here it is. All right, so here we go. We got a Israel one. Better watch your step. Israel one. Tread carefully. Instead of tread carefully, y'all. It just says that because I don't think they say y'all in Israel, obviously. Trump. Yep. And then Ultra MAGA. You missed. F Biden. You got Jedi Trump. Sorry, the quality of these screenshots isn't that great for some reason, but if you go to my website, you can see them all much clearer. The Force is strong with him. Trump as a Jedi, and he has a red, white, and blue lightsaber. You got a girl shirt, Trump Barbie letters, Barbie font, whatever you want to call it. And then Texas, we have one on the front and on the back now for Texas. Better watch your step. Tread carefully, y'all. We got a Trump mug shot, not guilty. We got to make America great again. This is embroidered, by the way. All of this is a custom embroidered shirt. All right. So that's going to be all the ones I created today. Like I said, guys, if you have anything that you want me to design, if you have like, oh, I really like that shirt, but I can't find it anywhere, let me know. Let me know what it is, and I will do my best to make it. Or if you have a picture of it, I will make it if I can. So just down there, hit me up in the comments or email me. My email's in the description, guys. Don't forget to go down there, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and do not forget to share this video if you guys like it. I appreciate you guys coming by. Make sure you guys go subscribe, and don't forget to catch us for the Shabbat podcast tomorrow. Alrighty, guys. Have a good one.